Welcome to SVG Television's News and Sports. I'm Khalil Cato with the details. Flood-affected residents in Buckerment and Pembroke are the first recipients of fridges, stoves and mattresses from the government 1 month after the December 24, 2013 disaster. Minister of Transport and Works Julian Francis told members of the media that they saw it best to start the distribution in those areas.
In my view, Buckerment Village got the residue of everybody's wash. So you wash out Vermont, you wash out Pembroke, you wash out Hope, you wash out 20 Hill, Penniston, and all that deposited into Buckerment Village. So the smell down there, it was just a different kind of mud that was down there. So we had to spend a lot of time there with the people. In fact, I had a village meeting with the people under a mango tree one afternoon when there was some discontent, and we settled and threw back in some gangs. So I've chosen Buckerment as the first area to deliver the fridge, stove and mattresses this evening. Francis said over 57 households will be catered for in the first phase of the distribution. And some, not all, will get fridge because their fridge wasn't damaged, so there's no discrimination that like everybody is talking about. Those who are talking about discrimination are persons who sit down in their armchairs in their offices and they're not out there to see the work crews and how they operate. The work crews don't ask whether you're blue, red, yellow, pink or green. They go in, there's a mud in your yard, we clean it. A fridge has been lost, a stove has been lost, we replace it. It doesn't matter the color of the people. So those who are talking about discrimination, tell them leave their cushy offices and go out into the field and see what is happening, then they can talk. And today, SVG received a total of 40 pallets of relief supplies, weighing in at just over 20 tons from France and the government of Martinique. Among those on hand to receive the supplies, which arrived at Port Kingstown, were Minister of Foreign Affairs Camilo Gonzalez, the Permanent Secretary in his ministry, and Director of NEMO Howie Prince. Gonzalez thanked the Republic of France and the government and people of Martinique for choosing to extend a hand of friendship and assistance to SVG during this very difficult time.
A lot of it is water, foodstuff, medical supplies, wheelchairs and the like. And it also stopped in Barbados to pick up some of the supplies that were collected by Vincentian associations in Barbados, so bring it over without the need for them paying for shipping. We must see France in part as a Caribbean country, because Martinique and Guadeloupe are in our island chain. And in terms of foreign relations, we're finding new ways constantly to further integrate the people of Martinique and Guadeloupe and the people of the OECS and CARICOM in further bonds, because they are in many ways parts of our Caribbean civilization. And a representative of the French embassy told the local media that they are very pleased to assist SVG in this time of need.
We are very proud today with the support of the French Army and the French Navy to come once more, because we are used to have a very good cooperation in different fields with Saint Lucia, between France and between the regions of Martinique and Guadeloupe. And the president of the region of Martinique was here last week to meet with Honorable Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So it is not a special event, it is just the continuous process of working all together, because we are sure that we have your support when we have problems or disasters, and you have our support when you have disasters.
A temporary bridge is being constructed in Carroll, Georgetown, to accommodate heavy-duty vehicles after the main bridge was damaged during the passage of the trough system on Christmas Eve night, 2013. Minister of Transport and Works Julian Francis said given that the damaged bridge cannot accommodate heavy trucks, it has caused many setbacks.
Sir, which entity runs Rabaca and supplies the nation with the cheapest form of aggregate, has been out of business for a month now. Once Bragsa can't supply, then the block makers can't get the aggregate to make the blocks, and in the reconstruction process there's a need for a lot of blocks. So the block makers have been calling me continuously about 2 weeks after the storm, and I asked Bragsa to do a temporary bypass on the Carroll River. Initially the thought was to stockpile on the other side, on the north bank, and transport across with a front-end loader to serve the trucks on the other side. But when we came and started preparing the place, we realized both river banks were too soft to accommodate a daily operation like that with a big tractor down in the river.
Francis noted that the bypass bridge is expected to be completed by Monday and outlined how the material was gathered.
Dale Morris remembered that we had these two bridge tops. They're not really bridge tops, they're ship hole covers that were at Otley Hall, and we had used them during the 2011 floods up in the Perseverance River, the Basin Hole river that went up westwards. So they were lying at the Basin Hole Bridge. So basically we took them over, we put them on a truck and brought them over and started packing stones into the riverbed and decided just to concrete it and make it more secure. So that just in case we are delayed on the lower end with the Bailey's Bridge, because we have to put in a temporary bridge there because that bridge, as you see, is totally collapsed. And the truck owners were at nights taking their trucks across the broken bridge and shovel loading at Rabaca. And I am fearful that the bridge will collapse under the weight of the trucks.
Meanwhile, Road Maintenance Officer at Bragza, Dylan Morris, explained how the process has been going for the construction of the bypass bridge.
The idea basically came about when we decided to stockpile the materials on this side, so to allow the trucks to get their stuff so that the construction industry could keep going. We had planned to stockpile here and use a loader and load the trucks on the other side. When I came and I looked at it, I called Minister Francis and discussed the matter with him. My idea was to put the seal plates in place, so it would eliminate us having to transport the material down to this point and having to load, which would have been an additional cost to Bragza. The idea is that the trucks will go through here, straight to Rabaca, and buy whatever materials they want. So that's how the idea came about.
The 2013 Christmas disaster is said to have forced the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, to shift its focus for 2014. On Monday, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said prior to the disaster, NEMO had planned to focus on a number of areas in the new year, including a review of the legislation and related mechanisms governing its operations, using the UN's Hyogo Framework for Action benchmark.
Collaborating further with SEDEMA, the World Bank, the Red Cross and other bodies in strengthening disaster management institutionally and in the provision of upgraded physical assets or facilities. Better prepared shelter managers, community groups, and district disaster management committees in the area of disaster risk management, and the enhancing of NEMO's working relationship with regional and international partners on a wide range of regional disaster preparedness programs, including coastal warning systems. All these are important goals to accomplish, but after the Christmas disaster, they must be intertwined practically with the rehabilitation and recovery project at hand.
The Prime Minister further pointed out that in the capital estimates for 2014, there is a composite provision of $8.2 million out of a $54 million soft loan from the World Bank under the Regional Disaster and Vulnerability Reduction Program to enhance several emergency shelters.
Among other things, this year, this program would build and stock emergency relief warehouses at Sandy Bay, Rose Hall, Union Island, Beckway, Georgetown, Mesopotamia, and retrofit comprehensively the Dorsetshire Hill and Kingston Primary School for use as emergency shelters. A major upgrade in NEMO's telecommunication system is also in the offing. Meanwhile, NEMO is working with SEDEMA to elaborate a more efficacious comprehensive disaster management program to serve St. Vincent and the Grenadines for another 10 years.
Well, it's been 3 years since her last gospel album, and now internationally renowned recording gospel artist, evangelist Bridget Blucher is back home for the launch of her new album entitled You Alone. Blucher told SVG-TV News that they had initially planned for a concert for February 1st for the launch of the album. But given what took place here with the December floods, they will be using the opportunity to reach out to those who were affected.
But this is now far more much more meaningful than just an album launch. Dealing with Awesome Praise Production also, we have also my ministry, BBS ministry, we have brought in some barrels and so forth so we can be of aid. So not only in the concert, but we also trying to reach out to the families that were impacted to be of some sort of help to them. So this all ties up in one. We're just here to spread hope, spread love, give hope, and to bring a source of comfort.
Blucher added that persons who attend the concert, which is being promoted by Awesome Praise Promotions, will experience a time of healing.
So sorry that some of our brothers and sisters are in a devastated state right now, but that's why we're here, so we can lend a helping hand as well, and this concert is also geared around that. We're expecting healing to take place. Is it going to happen overnight for some folks, especially those that are closely impacted by this storm? We don't know. Only God knows that. But if we can only touch and agree and pray together, one can chase 1,000, two can put 10,000 to flight. We are here to just build each other up and to give God praise. And when our praises goes up, then we can expect the blessings from God. And I believe we are in for a better, stronger St. Vincent. God is doing new things in our life. It's a new beginning for many of us.
The concert is expected to take place on Saturday, February 1st at the Diamond Deliverance Assemblies from 8 p.m. Minister of Agriculture Soboto Caesar has issued a challenge to the region's youth to take agriculture to the next level. Caesar officially declared a regional workshop on youth initiatives, lessons and best practices in policies for agricultural production and marketing closed yesterday at the Murray Heights Hotel. The minister commended the workshop's mix of young and experienced participants in charting a way forward for agriculture.
Approved in the budgetary estimates and in the budgetary debates that took place, the sum of $6 million, especially for an agriculture support company to be established to put on credit $6 million for the farmers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And a special component of that is there for the youth.
Meanwhile, a Grenadian participant in the 2014 Caribbean Farmers Network Carfon Workshop commended Minister Caesar for his work. Joseph Braveboy also commended the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for their focus in agriculture.
I'm glad for St. Vincent that I can see that he's a young man. And initiatives that as youth getting involved in policy making and having a say in the agriculture sector to boost this sector forward, I think we need more young ministers across the Caribbean to share that same vision. Hats off to you, Honorable.
Braveboy also added that he is surprised that more investments are not being pumped into agriculture throughout the region, as the sector holds a lot of potential for future generations.
Organizational framework building, marketing and production, policy advocacy, youth, women and rural development, food security and nutrition are crucial pillars needed to take the sector forward. At the field visit, I was a bit more astonished, but somewhat baffled. Having all this expertise in the Caribbean to do research, why isn't there more money pumped into this area?
The first in a series of lectures put on by the General Employees Cooperative Credit Union leading up to its 50th anniversary celebrations was held last evening at French's house. Featured speaker Melville Edwards, in his opening remarks, said that during the 5 decades of existence, amidst the best and worst of times, GECU has evolved from being a mere lender of last resort and a cash box for employees to a financial institution of choice for the citizens of the nation.
This institution started with a massive initial working capital of $6 EC. And out of this, you could fast forward, a major financial cooperative has emerged, amassing at the latest count $155 million of popular savings, $166 million in assets under management, and over 10 million in reserves and paid-in capital by its members, who now number 39,000 proud and loyal owners.
Edwards said GECU has operated with other cooperatives to make a dent of their own in the economy of SVG.
You know very well the impact that the organization has been making every year in terms of not only mobilizing savings, but in distributing loans for consumptive, for productive, and for other innovative purposes that have helped this society and the economy not only to sustain and to grow.
Edwards also added that credit unions have played a critical role in stabilizing societies and must be supported.
What if ordinary persons in the rural area, in the depressed communities of Georgetown and Kingstown, were not able to access a place where they can save their pennies and where they can borrow, particularly as the requirements of the banks being what they are? Our society would have been worse off. The stability we enjoy would not have been there. And therefore, the economic impact of the credit unions cannot be argued against.
On Thursday, the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission held its judging for Zone B in its first I-Squared competition. The judging event, held at the Barrowley Learning Resource Center, featured presentations from the Barrowley, St. Martin's and Pettibodell secondary schools. Addressing the gathering, area representative for Central Leeward, Maxwell Charles, says that it is not by choice that such an event is being hosted at this time, since just about every school child in SVG is equipped with a personal computer and is more technically advanced because of this.
I want to make a prediction this morning that coming out of this competition that's organized by the NTRC, you're going to have some great professionals coming out of all this from the secondary schools. You see, we need to tailor systems to suit our local needs here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And who else can suggest it? Who else can build systems but the people who live and dwell here? And so I'm looking forward to the time when some great professional in St. Vincent would look back to the day when NTRC had its annual competition in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.